Thank you for joining us today on 344 Live, where we support sellers and job seekers. Now, while waiting for the show to begin, please take a moment to support Gabby Hernandez's job search. She is passionate about finding errors and will probably find many of mine today. So, welcome to 344 Live, where I have none other than the esteemed Gretchen Skalka with me today. So, thank you so much, Gretchen, for I think you were easily one of the very first people who signed up. Like, I got to be a part of this, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
hallelujah! I want my friends to show up and be a part of this because we don't get to talk enough about what we do
Yeah.
in a intentional way for money, right? And we're all adults, we're all professionals, we're all paying bills, we're all trying to make it happen,
Yep.
and as are you. And
Yep.
so welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I want to hear all about your business, and I also want to do a quick shout for Gabby Hernandez, who is our job seeker of the day. She is passionate about finding errors, and my challenge to her is to find some today, and call them out in the comments because, we're all about just trying to get better all the time. And with that, Gretchen, I would like to ask you a few questions. So, what do you do? And by that, I mean, who do you help and what are they suffering from?
Okay. Yeah. So what do? I do coaching consultancy, you name it. So there's a lot of different words people use. Strategist is really the word that I prefer, because what I do is really, there's a lot of planning and a lot of strategy that goes behind what I do. But the people that I serve traditionally are going to be women. I'm a woman. I get their problems. I've been a career executive in corporate. I understand some of the pressure and the stress that goes along with that, why things do and do not happen, and how to make those happen for you in the way that you want. So, but I can support anybody. I actually right now I have two gentlemen who are clients. So I'm not women exclusive, but that is sort of my wheelhouse. And the problems they present with are usually people find me because they have a challenge in their career. What ends up happening is that challenge more times than not is not rooted in their career. The challenge is rooted in a mindset basically that they have that is preventing them from taking the steps that they need to go forward. And so that's sort of where I begin to take what's presented and I break it all the way down and then we build it back up. And that's the planning that I do. And I can get into that if you'd like. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna get into it. All right, we're gonna break that all down. But first, I want to know a little bit more about like when did that like become your thing? I know this your consultancy isn't new, right? You've been doing this for a while, but the business as a
Yeah.
standalone is fairly new.
Yeah.
But when did you like say, this is something I do. I'm good at this.
So I've been doing this for a long time. In 2009, I was at a company that went through a leadership change, and part of that leadership change brought in a mass layoff of a department that I had a lot of friends in. So I just started helping them with things I knew how to do: resumes, cover letters, interview strategy, job search strategy, things like that. And over the years, that was 13, 14 years ago, I've been doing that ever since. And so I've been, I was a corporate marketing director in my last role. And so like for the last 10 and a half years, I built a team, but mentoring and guiding people to their next opportunity too, while they're on my team is something that I've always done. That's actually the thing that lights me up the most is
That's pretty
figuring out
damn
how to,
cool, actually.
yeah,
I mean,
how to
like,
help. Yeah, no, how to help people get what they want. That
yeah.
is, it just makes me incredibly happy. And so it's one of those things that I was privileged to be able to do in both my corporate roles and as a hiring manager, as a resource manager, as a team leader, as a department head, all those things. And so I got to a point where, like a lot of people, I knew that there was something else out there for me. I had no idea what. And so when I left corporate, I took a few months off to sort of figure it out. And it was actually a client of mine who we were meeting, and she made the comment. She said, this is really nice. And I'm like, what? We talk every week. What are we talking about? And she goes, no, I don't have to wait till the weekend or at night to talk to you because before we were both at work. And so we'd have to plan that differently. And she was like, you should do this. And I was like, what? And she goes, you should do this. You should make this your business. And I was like, can I do that? Like, I didn't know if I'm like, really? It really hadn't occurred to me, but I was talking to my husband about it. And he was like, why not? Let's give
Yeah.
it a shot. So
Yeah. Now,
I was,
you've told stories about your husband, and he sounds like a pretty cool guy. But I
yes,
want to interrupt you because I know you're on a bit of a roll. But we have got to talk about, and now this is showing up as LinkedIn user on our canvas. But this is Carrie Chias, and this testimonial right here. We'll just take a pause,
yeah,
okay? Just gonna take a pause because that's where how you know how do you do that? And that's, I think that speaks into who you are. Like, and I want to speak to you too. For me, that's sort of how I feel too. Like, you're available and you're connected and you engage and you're right there. And I don't feel like you're out for yourself when we're talking, right? Like,
yeah,
you're just all there. And I remember going down to meet you, and we tried to meet, when I was in Delray Beach, and you
I
were
know.
in, I don't know where I can't
Stewart,
keep all that Florida stuff. It's
yeah.
all Miami to me, but I know it's not.
I know. I'm in Martin County. I'm way
Okay,
north of that. Yeah,
okay, okay,
yeah,
Martin County. So people think I'm in Seattle, and I'm not in
yeah,
Seattle, but
yeah. I
nor
get
am I
that.
Canadian. But anyway, all right. So your backstory is you're corporate, you support other people, you figured this stuff out. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Now I want to go back to the mindset shifting work that you do,
yeah,
right? So this idea is, I come to you because my job search or my job is messed up or whatever. I'm not getting where I want to go.
yep.
And you're like, time out. It's probably something else. Right. And this mindset, how do you crack that mind? How do you get to that mindset, shifting
Yeah, it's
piece?
not automatic, because usually what happens is there have to be a few discussions about it. But somebody presents, for example, someone will present with, I have been up for promotion a couple of times. I haven't gotten it. I'm either quitting or I'm giving them an ultimatum. That actually was a real thing that happened. And so what you do is you get into how we've gone in that particular instance, how did we go about putting our hat in the ring for that promotion? What led up to it? What
Mhm.
conversations were we having? What partnerships were we building? Where were we in all of that? And you really have to sort of get into what's going on with the person. And what I find is a lot of times what we build up in our minds becomes our narrative, our walking narrative every day through our lives. And on the other side of that is another very dangerous thing, which is lack of information. And in the absence of information, people make their own reality. So you have your walking narrative that are, may or may not be true for you. And then you
Mhm.
have a lack of information, and that can go hand in hand, especially when it comes to career things. We're not really keen on advocating for ourselves in the workplace. A lot of people think they do, but they're not being very clear. And so there's a communication issue, and what they're not getting back is because they may not be putting out. So I basically it's very specific to the person. It's very subjective.
Okay.
How one person communicates may be very different than the other. You also have to understand what they're coming to you with. And so I do, and I will die on this hill. Mindset is everything starts and stops there. It
Okay.
basically determines what you believe is possible for yourself.
Okay.
And what you believe is possible for yourself also determines the actions that you do or do not take to create the circumstances through which things can happen or will never happen for you. And so we have to get into those kind of things. And that's a dedicated discussion. We really go into a lot of decision making. What goes into that? How do you feel about this? What was happening when this was going on? And we get into specific scenarios. And when you can begin to unravel them and really get into what's important. So for example, if the promotion is important, why? Right? What does it symbolize? More money. What does that
Mhm.
symbolize? Is that security? Is that freedom? What does the money, the tool of money represent to you? Why is
Mhm.
that important? And so then you can go into what kind of mindset do we have? Are we in survival mindset because we need to get that because we have something going on that's going to help us with? And if we don't get it, now we're going to have other reactions. We're going to be very reactionary about that one thing. And then we get tunnel vision and we don't see all these other opportunities that are available for us to talk with the people who can make it happen, to partner with them, to see other opportunities to sort of get ourselves out there more than just making the application, building those connections and building those relationships. So, long way of saying it's incredibly subjective and dependent on the person, but
Okay.
it's a lot of discussion. Yeah.
Man, I mean that. Okay, so I'm just trying to take this in. It's like a fire hose of Gretchen
Sorry.
Skalka energy. Wow. Okay.
Sorry.
I got. All right, because my brain likes just to put things in little boxes
Mhm.
and and compartmentalize and say, okay, I have 8 questions I have to get through in
I'm
order to make.
sorry.
No. It's perfect because you're on a roll, right? And I could what comes through to me is your passion. Oh, what was it? Red Safestrom. He's got the best words. It was authority, mastery, and purpose. Right? I think is what how it was like. If we have and you have that right in spades, and it just comes through, right? So it's like, okay, where do I sign? Right? And so with that, right? I want to hear the nuts and bolts, right? That like what does hiring you look like? How does that happen? How long do we work together? And
Mhm.
what is the format?
Yeah. Okay. So hiring me depends on what you need, and we can determine that by a couple of conversations. And so I have my one, signature program, if you want to use that word,
Mhm.
and that is a 12-week program. It's an incredibly deep dive. It is career leadership focused. It's 8 modules, and we go through a lot of different things. Certainly, RAM thinking is a big one, and that is what most of all of my programs are actually rooted in. And that's basically your mindset determines the actions, determines the reality. So it's a backwards
Okay.
equation.
Okay.
So that one is that's what that one looks like. The time commitment is 12 weeks. The investment is $4,500. And what you
Okay.
get are the format is I mean, I have local clients, so we'll meet in person, but I also
Mhm.
have most people are going to be distanced coached.
Okay.
So it's a Zoom session.
Mhm.
We also have a couple of what I call intensives, which are 90 to 120 minutes. They're
Mhm.
part of that. They're all recorded. Every client gets a recording of every session. And
Mhm.
then after every session in this particular program, there is custom content created based on the learnings that we've had from the week before and what we've
Mm.
discussed in the session, any breakthroughs that we have had. And so
Okay.
each of those clients gets custom content added to their portal. So on my website, Career Insights Consulting, there's most of it is behind a firewall for clients. Most
Yeah.
of the content that I create is for my clients. And so
Right.
there's a wealth of information back there for
Mhm.
them. And they have each a custom portal where their content grows. I also do
Okay.
have a little one that I call Career Compass. That can be 4 to 5 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. And that one is your basics, right? If you're just not sure how to get going, how to take that step, where to even begin to look in terms of
Mhm.
career strategy and other things like that. So that one's 2,800
Okay.
for 4 to 6 weeks. And then I do one-to-one coaching, and that can be a la carte because not everybody needs to be in a
Right.
program.
Right.
Some people just need to have a couple conversations and
Okay.
know what's out there for them. So
Yeah.
but every conversation is recorded and
Okay.
given to the client. Yep.
Okay. That sounds cool. So it's a one-on-one with you
Mhm.
on a weekly basis over 12 weeks, right? It's
Yes.
not a boot camp style,
That's
right?
the big one. Yeah. Hmm.
So okay. So got it. All right. So all right. So we're all good. And all right. Sounds okay. Are you available? Right. That's like my next question. Like, can I call you tomorrow? Or is anybody here? I mean, we got a ton of comments today, right?
Yeah.
Carrie's here and Nathan's here, and I saw Dean LeBay and Gabby Hernandez is here. I mean, and Melissa Houston showed up and she called you
Yep.
out as the greatest queen of career coaching ever. That's so
She's so
great.
nice.
Dean's asking for a senior citizen discount.
Well,
So
actually,
you're
and I will say this, I do modify. I have a scale for my one-to-one hourly because again, programs aren't for everybody. No, but not everybody needs a program. If you just need to kind of do a brain download of what I know and how I can help, I'm going to do that for you. Somebody sent somebody to me about an hour ago, and I gave her a bunch of resources. So you just
okay.
never know. But I do have a
Yeah.
sliding scale for my one-to-one hourly, so I can work with anybody. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just about done. Can you believe it or not? I mean, we're almost there. And as you know, right, for the benefit of creating content. Whoops, I hit my thing. I get excited.
I know, right?
So okay, what we got to have the 1 minute tip, right? Because we're gonna put that
Yep.
up on YouTube. We're gonna wrap this and refer back to our session together today in another LinkedIn post tonight. All right. So I'm gonna say let's go, and you're gonna give me 1 minute's worth of Gretchen on tap. And
All
then
right.
when you're done, I'm gonna say we're gonna take that to the bank, and then that is gonna wrap us up. All right. So
Okay.
you ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. With my 60 seconds, I'm going to do 3 things for optimizing your LinkedIn profile. And if I don't get through all three, my name is Gretchen Skalka. You can Google me, look me up on LinkedIn. You can download a comprehensive guide on my LinkedIn profile, my YouTube channel, and my website. So, number one, start thinking of LinkedIn as a search engine, not just social media. Number two, your headline. You do not have to default to your last title and your last employer. No one is looking for you that way. You have 220 characters. That is a searchable block of text. So use the keywords you want to be found for and known for that are really relevant and accurate for you, and also the ones that employers and the jobs you want are using. Number three, your about section. That is 3,000 characters worth of searchable text. So what you want to do is you want to section it out. What you do, what you're known for. This is a great spot for a success story and how to get in touch with you. Added bonus if you can add a specialties block. Again, there's a lot more you can do with your LinkedIn profile. That's just scratching the surface. So again, my name is Gretchen Skalka. You can look me up on LinkedIn. Right there on my profile, you can download a guide. It'll walk you through everything. And I think that's my 60.
And you're 100% professional. We're going to take that to the bank. Awesome. Gretchen, you're the best. Okay. It's been such a treat to have you here. We had a great audience today. I'm thrilled that everybody came out and filled these comments, because comments are the money here, right?
Yeah.
It is as a host, I got to say that having an audience makes it so much more fun, and
Yeah.
and really creates that sort of electric feel for me and for all the guests that I bring in, and Gretchen, because it's just, you can see it coming. So with that, I am committed to turning this off promptly at 4:00, which we are at right now.
Thank you,
I'm
Tara.
going to zip it. And Gretchen, don't go away, as we'll decompress on this as soon as I turn it all off. So everybody else, have a great afternoon, and we'll all talk soon.